Guided by the university motto, Vidya Upatatan Setta, among all that arise, knowledge is the greatest. With that thought, a very good morning to all of you, and I warmly welcome the gathering to the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021, organized by the Department of Entrepreneurship of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, University of Jayewardenepura. To commence the symposium proceedings, let us pay our tribute to the university by rising for the university anthem.
Sri Lanka Pinbar Randirani Srinivasa Maha Aganagare Sri Jayewardenepura Sarasavi Sri Namaya Randavav Lomudune Hikkaduwe Siri Sumagul Samidun
Velivitiye Sorat Bandu Yatidun
Vigikala Vidyodaya Vidu Bimadun Eliyen Divi Magasarasau Sri Lanka Pinbar Randirani Srinivasa Maha Aganagare Sri Jayewardenepura Sarasavi Sri Namaya Randava Lomudune Ayuktiyedi Vivadashili
Asatyayedi Vicharashili
Viyat Sabhamed Samajashili Viyatun Vidaya Pobayau Sri Lanka Pinbar Randirani Srinivasa Maha Aganagare Sri Jayewardenepura Sarasavi Sri Namaya Randavav Lomudune Vidya Upatatan Setta Vidya Upatatan Setta Vidya Upatatan Setta
Redefining economic boundaries through the exploration of the shifts in entrepreneurship. The International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021 is themed as such. Let me now invite Mrs. Prabodhini Lianage, Academic Coordinator of the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021, to give the gathering an insight on our research symposium pathway. Thank you, Nandini. Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship, which is the annual research conference of the Department of Entrepreneurship of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce of the University of Jayewardenepura, was commenced in the year 2018 under the initiative of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce. The research conference was organized with main objectives of to providing a platform for the entrepreneurial researchers, academics, and undergraduates of the Department of Entrepreneurship to share their research findings, to promote a research culture in entrepreneurship, as well as establishing an interface for the entire country to publish research findings in entrepreneurship. Thus, the first two annual research sessions of Department of Entrepreneurship was held in physical form at University of Jayewardenepura in the year 2018 as well as in the year 2019. Making history of Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, the department holds the record in organizing the first ever online research symposium in the year 2020. Although the session was initially planned to be held in physical form, with the pandemic situation in the country, the event was postponed. However, as the pioneer in all innovative initiatives at the Faculty of Management Studies, the department kept the first step in organizing the scheduled third research symposium of the Department of Entrepreneurship in online modes, which was later adapted by many others at the faculty level. Thereby, the Department of Entrepreneurship proudly organized this research symposium of the department for the year 2021 for the fourth consecutive year as International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship, IRSE 2021, opening up the event for the mass audience with the theme of defining economic boundaries through the exploration of the shifts in entrepreneurship. Thus, expanding its capacity, IRSC 2021 has two main arms as research presentations and poster presentations, with the expectation of publishing the research outcomes in the fields of entrepreneurship as well as business management, encouraging the undergraduates pursuing their research study in the respective fields. So, let me warmly welcome you all to the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship. Thank you.
To begin the proceedings of the day, I would now like to invite Dr. Shriyani Ranasinghe to welcome the gathering on behalf of the head of the Department of Entrepreneurship, Dr. Shamanu Dayanga, who is unable to attend the symposium today due to a health concern. Madam, this invitation goes out to you to warmly welcome the gathering.
IRSE Chiranjayapur International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship IRSE in 2021. A very good morning, all of you. Professor Sudatta Liyanage, the Vice Chancellor, University of Sri Jayewardenepura, Professor P.D. Nimal, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, University of Sri Jayewardenepura, Dr. Shaman Udayanga, Founder Head of the Department of Entrepreneurship, Dr. Mohammad Khan, Associate Professor at Victoria University of Wellington, all the invitees, reviewers and senators of the day, the academic staff and non-academic staff of Department of Entrepreneurship, internal undergraduate and external program students of the Department of Entrepreneurship and other distinguished gathering in here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a glad welcome we bring to you all this beautiful morning, filled with the desires, hopes and dreams about a better world that all of us share. Professor Sudatta Liyanage, the Vice Chancellor, University of Sri Jayewardenepura. Sir, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you in this morning to the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship, IRSE in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have Professor P.D. Nimar, the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, University of Sri Jayewardenepura, with us here today. Dear sir, our desire is to extend a gracious and inclusive welcome to you in this morning. There is another big personality behind the success of this valuable event, that is Dr. Shaman Udayanga, founder head of the Department of Entrepreneurship. You did everything possible to help realize our dream. Dear sir, here is an appreciative welcome to you on behalf of all the members of our department. You are warmly welcome to this precise moment. At this wonderful morning, it's my pleasant duty to bid a warm welcome to the keynote speaker of the today on the topic of redefining economic boundaries to the exploration of the SIPs in entrepreneurship by Dr. Mohammed Saud Khan, Associate Professor in Strategic Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Victoria University of Wellington. You are most welcome to the celebration of this research symposium. On behalf of the Department of Entrepreneurship, we are delighted to offer the most hospitable welcome to Dr. Rukmal Veerasinghe. Sir, your presence here is highly valued by us as the former head of the Department of Entrepreneurship. We are deeply appreciating and offering you our most grateful welcome today. Then all the other members of the faculty, academic staff and non-academic staff are also warmly welcome for this celebration of IRSE 2021. Especially my warmest welcome goes to the organizing committee leading by Mrs. PDT Dienage and Ms. DCHD Silva and Naduni Gunawardena. Dear members of the reviews committee, you all deserve a great welcome today. Our dear Sir, Senior Professor HHD NP Opatha, Professor Amila Jayewardenepura, Professor Nalin Abesekara, Professor Nisantha Vushike, Professor D. Diga Vatura, Dr. Dushan Chaminda, Dr. M.D. Pushpakumari Maldeniya, Dr. Geeta Tarangani, Dr. R.N. Veerasinghe, Miss D.H.B.Y. Ranasinghe, Mrs. P.D.T. Lienage, and Miss D.C.H.B. Silva. Dear Sir, Madam, you really work many days to make this whole program a reality. Now you are here with us to share our joy. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this beautiful day, I would like to bid you a warm welcome to the session chairs of the Research Symposium. Associate Professor Mohammed Saud Khan, Professor Lalit Chandralal, Professor Amila Jayewardenepura, Professor Nisantha Vushike, Professor Sunetra Pereira, Dr. Dushan Chaminda, Dr. Asanka Dharmavansa, Dr. Rutika Dharmaratna, Dr. Sheshika Karyaperuma, Dr. M.D. Pushpakumari, Dr. Vilani Satitra, Dr. Pushpanathan, Dr. Nalaka Vikramasinghe, Dr. Chaminda Karunaratna, and Dr. Dinesha Siriwardena. You made us feel confident and stronger. Therefore, dear Sir, Madam, we are delighted to have you here to celebrate this success. I would like to offer you all a heartily welcome to the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship, IRSE, in 2021. At last but not least, we are warmly welcome all the presenters of in here today, research articles and the posters. Then I think this is the warmest welcome by the Department of Entrepreneurship, all of you. Have a memorable day. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for that warm welcome. I would now like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of the Management Studies and Commerce, Professor P. D. Nimal, to address the gathering with his perceptions of the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021. Sir, the platform is over to you.
Very good morning to everyone. Dr. Syamanudhyanga, Head Department of Entrepreneurship, and Dr. Ukmal, Dr. Sriyani, and other colleagues of the department. In fact, faculty members, you can see many members are connected to the online system, and dear students. In fact, today is a memorable day for all the students, those who are planning to make their research presentations at this conference. So as you know, the organizing a conference of this nature is not an easy task. So I would like to congratulate all the members of the department led by Dr. Udyanga and the students for their untiring effort to make this event a success. In fact, as you know, the faculty consists of 12 departments. The entrepreneurship department is one of the departments which is a kind of a dynamic department where Dr. Udyanga and other team always think innovatively and creatively, and kind of a dynamic department. And also students are not like other students of the faculty. As you know, everybody needs to think of a business and start a business during the period of your stay in the university itself. So this will give you a kind of a different experience than other degree programs of the faculty, which is in fact a need of the society as well. So as you know, an honors degree is different from other degrees as well as professional programs, maybe accounting programs, marketing or HR, whatever it is. The honors degree is different due to one of the major reasons is the research component. So research, according to the SLQ web 2015, a research component is a must, and that should carry at least 6 credits of the total 120 credits of the degree program. So this will give you a different experience. Yeah, when you do subjects and other assignments, normally you learn and study and write answers and get the credit. But here, a different experience where you start thinking of an issue or a problem, and you identify then the objectives and may think of collecting relevant data to analyze the problem, and then you have to think of or identify the suitable methodologies or methods to analyze data to find answers to the solution, and you come up with your conclusions and findings. So it is a different experience. You yourself have to think of an issue and have to collect data, analyze data, and come up with solutions scientifically. So other professional programs will not have that experience, and other general degrees will not give you that experience. Therefore, this will be definitely a different experience, as well as will be a real value addition to your career as well. When you start working in organizations, definitely you come across with many problems and issues which are related to maybe your organization. So you have to then study the issues and collect data on the issue and analyze data and come up with solution. So this will be a real value addition to your career in future. So therefore, I would like to congratulate all the students, those who are making presentations today, as well as others, or everybody might have done their research component, and congratulate you on this occasion, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for those encouraging words to our young enthusiastic researchers. We have reached the most significant item of the agenda of the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship, where I invite the keynote speaker, Dr. Mohammed S. Khan, who is the Senior Lecturer, Associate Professor in Strategic Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. Dr. Mohammed S. Khan has worked in the area of business development at the Strategic Organization Design Unit of University of Southern Denmark. He has a PhD in Innovation Management and Entrepreneurship from the University of Klagenfurt in Austria. With a foundational background in mechatronics engineering, he has experience in the oil and gas industry in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and UK. He continued with his intellectual interest and studied engineering management and later received a master's in management, technology, and economics from ETH Zurich. His current areas of interest include innovation management, entrepreneurship, teams, organizational behavior, and uncertainty. Senior Lecturer, Associate Professor, Dr. Mohammed S. Khan. Sir, this invitation is over to you for the keynote speech.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Is my audio okay? Video, is everything working fine?
Yes, sir. You're very clear.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Kia ora, Ayo Bhuvan, if I pronounced it correctly. Thanks a lot, everyone. I would like to begin my talk by sharing my appreciation and gratitude to University of Sri Jayewardenepura, the respected Vice Chancellor, Dean, Head of Department, faculty members, and all the wonderful participants that are connected with us online today. So just before I get started, I would like to share a couple of things on where I'm coming from. I realize that a good introduction has been already given, but the picture that you see on your screens is showing you Wellington, where I'm sitting right now. This is where my office is, Victoria University of Wellington, right at the waterfront. And this is where we are communicating currently. So to begin with, here is just a brief, quick snapshot of what was told to you about my introduction. I'm originally from Pakistan, and this is where I have done all my studies and undergraduate studies, which was mechatronics engineering. And after that, I moved on to work in Saudi Arabia in an oil and gas company. Having worked as a field engineer, I moved on to pursue my intellectual interests and did a master's in management technology and economics from Switzerland in Europe, and then moved on for a PhD in Austria. After completing my PhD in innovation and entrepreneurship, I moved to do a postdoctorate in business development in Denmark. And after that, I came right to the other end of the world, which is New Zealand. And this is where I'm currently based as a senior lecturer, and I teach and research in the area of innovation management and entrepreneurship, which is something which really excites me and brings joy when I hear these two words. And I will try to give you a little bit of that excitement in today's talk as we move along. Okay, so to begin with, let's have a look at something which bothers many people in this world in today's time, which is inequality, right? The current world in which we are living is very, very strange in many ways. And I would like this keynote speech to have some sort of interaction in terms of audio or maybe chat. So I will be giving you small pieces of information where I would like some input, and it should be as interactive as possible. So to begin with, let's see what is inequality in today's time. Just take a couple of seconds, and if any one of you can share what does inequality mean to you right now in today's age in which we are living, and the current climate and things that are going around us with the pandemic, what do you think is inequality? So just take a couple of seconds, 20, 30 seconds, think about it, and you can share whatever are your thoughts very quickly. Okay, so feel free to jump in the conversation if anyone would like to share what comes to their mind when we think of inequality in today's times. Are my slides visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So what comes to your mind with inequality? Do we have input on the chat, or if someone wants to write in the chat box, that's also fine. If you want to unmute your mic and speak very quickly, that would be good, and then we'll pick it up from there. Existence of unequal opportunities for different social positions or statuses in society. Very nice. Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to add to this? unequal opportunities for different social positions. Very good. Okay, so if there's not further input coming in, let's move and see a couple of ideas around this, right? Number one thing, jobs. So the current world in which we are living, the pandemic has exacerbated a lot of jobs in many ways. What is happening right now is that with the lockdowns happening in so many different places, as we are seeing, there are particular types of jobs which are becoming difficult to operate with social distancing and remote and non-remote working. So that is creating by itself a very different sort of an inequality when it comes to the nature of jobs that are being offered, right? So some jobs are more favorable in these times, and there are other jobs which are not so favorable at this time, which are possible to be taking place. Next thing, gender gap. So when we are talking of gender gap, in the current COVID scenario, in many countries and in many regions, what is happening is that a lot of women are getting out of job and work, and men as well. But when they go home, there is a strong likelihood that the women have to take care of the family and do more jobs which are related to families' well-being, right? So that makes it even more difficult for women to come back to certain jobs once this thing goes down and subsides, right? The pandemic. So what it is actually doing is it's creating another inequality in terms of the gender gap. So men are having certain jobs which they can do, and women will be struggling to find some kind of work if they lose that work and during this period, right? Another thing, rising protectionism. So a lot of countries and regions are going back and looking inward rather than looking outward and making collaborations and making those trade blocks between different countries. So a lot of regions are now starting to focus on their own local economies because of the difficulties in carrying out trade and other things with other countries and regions. This means there's a lot of inward looking attitude which is developing all across the world. And this is creating another sort of inequality for developing countries and developed countries, which are rich countries. When the trade becomes limited, then the opportunities become limited as well, right? Access to the vaccine. So this is another thing which is being discussed a lot today in the world, that vaccine is being developed and is being rolled out in many countries. But at the same time, some countries which are pumping in a lot of money in the research and development of the vaccine, they are going to have greater access to the vaccine as it becomes more and more available, right? Those countries which have less stakes in building the vaccines are often struggling to get access to the vaccine as well. So that is creating another kind of inequality within the pandemic in terms of accessing the cure or prevention towards this scenario which we are facing. Digital divide. Digital divide means that there are a lot of countries right now, even within the countries, where internet access is still limited. So when we are going into lockdowns, and if there is a job that can be done remotely, but there is limited access to the internet, how do we do those jobs, right? So that creates a further inequality in terms of the have and have-nots of things, right? So this gives us just a very quick idea in terms of the main ways in which we are being impacted in the current scenario when it comes to inequalities. And I will tell you why I'm talking so much about inequalities to begin with. So when we are looking at so much of inequality, another thing which comes to mind is the pandemic of inequality which is going on. There is one pandemic which is related to health, which we are facing right now. However, at the same time, we are seeing that in this graph that you can see over here, I'll just move this screen. Yeah. So in this graph, what you are seeing is that the figure is trying to show you the pre-tax national income shares for the world's 10 largest economies. And as you are seeing that the share of the richest 10% in national income is increasing over decades. So when you look at these 10 big economies, even in these 10 big economies, you are seeing the trend of the graphs that is slightly inclining up there over every decade as we move along, which is clearly showing that there is an income and wealth inequality that is becoming larger and larger as the richest 10% national income continues to create that gap, right? So we have seen multiple ways in which inequalities are coming up during the times of COVID. What happens when there is a lot of inequality in all these respects? And these are not the only ways in which we are having inequalities. We are having inequalities in terms of social ways, in terms of religious ways, in terms of many other factors that are impacting the inequality of the world. With all of this inequality going on, what is one thing that can support or help us in overcoming some forms of inequality? When we look back at research, we see that entrepreneurship is one of those things that if you remove everything from an economy, the only thing which has a multiplier effect on the economy is entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is, as you can see over here on this slide, there are different ways of looking at entrepreneurship. The core aspect of entrepreneurship is identification, evaluation, and exploitation of opportunities. So these are the key words which we should keep in mind, right? Identification, evaluation, and exploitation. And entrepreneurship is not just one phenomena that happens that you make a business. It is a process. It is an ongoing process which carries on, right? So this is our understanding of entrepreneurship for a very long time. And this is the mainstream understanding of entrepreneurship which we have right now. However, it is important to consider that when you have a lot of inequality and you are trying to address that inequality through entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship by itself is evolving. The understanding of entrepreneurship is evolving. And this is where I would like to connect my talk to the theme of your symposium, which is addressing the different economic boundaries, the shifting economic boundaries, and its relation to the shifts in entrepreneurship. So my agenda today is to expose you to some of my research, which I have been doing recently, and share my input on those aspects, that how I see that entrepreneurship is shifting and how is it creating these fault lines in economic boundaries, right? So moving further, I will show you a very small clip before I start sharing my research talk with you, that this is going to just have a look at this video and look at it from the view that what comes to your mind when you watch this video. It's going to be played for 1 to 2 minutes. And then I would like to get some input from you. What do you think? What comes to your mind when you watch this video, which I'm going to play just now?
Sir, we cannot hear the video audio.
Okay, yeah, you can't hear it. Is it possible to play it from your end?
Yeah, I think we should be able to. Sir, could you kindly stop your sharing so that we can share the screen? Thank you.
Hello everybody, I have had a super busy week. As you can imagine, in the last video I said I'm going to be doing 24 videos on this channel from the 1st of December to the 25th of December. So 24, yeah, that's right. I said 24, right? Yeah, I did. That means I'm having to film and edit a lot of videos. So I apologize that this is going up on a Monday instead of a Sunday, but busy week, very busy week. I've decided the hashtag I want to use is 24 days of Zoella. There is gonna be a lot of new content, as I said, here on this channel, but also on my vlogging channel, or my second channel, as there is gonna be Vlogmas also every day up to Christmas Day, although Vlogmas actually technically starts on the 2nd because you film on the 1st and you upload on the 2nd. So from the 2nd of December onwards, Vlogmas. I've also decided that next Sunday there will be 0 video. None, nada, zilch, no video next Sunday, because 2 days after that, all the videos start. So I just kind of felt like I would leave it a little bit, make you miss me, you know, make you really want it, because I'm mean, or just because I want to kind of make you a bit more excited. Either way, that's what's happening. But also because I have so many videos to film and so many videos to edit, I honestly don't think I could squish one more in for next Sunday, so that is what is going to happen. For today's video, I wanted to do something kind of cash, but also something I've never done before, but I'm kind of like, why have I never done this before? Because it makes perfect sense. You guys know how much I love baking. I like to bake. Most of the time, to be honest, I don't film it because it's kind of like my downtime. It's a hobby that I have and I really, really enjoy it. If any of you do watch my vlogs, you'll know I bake a little bit more on those and kind of like film them on my like handycam. Handycam? Is that what they called it in like the 90s or something? I went out and I bought some things for baking. To be honest, anywhere I go, I'm on the lookout for baking bits and pieces because things like sprinkles and cupcake cases just kind of add to my collection. I do have a baking cupboard in my kitchen.
This is not a phone. This is a cafe. A photographer. A studio.
There's a lot of things in there. There's a lot of cute bits and pieces. I kind of want to do like a baking cupboard tour. Here is my baking cupboard. I mean, it's not that big. It's not like a huge pantry. You don't like walk into it and it looks like you're in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but it is kind of cool, like, I think. Anyway, I would like to see other people's baking cupboards, so let me know if that's something that you want to see, whether that's on this channel or just kind of on my second channel. To be honest, it's not going to be a very long video. So these are some of the bits and pieces I picked up. I will kind of give you a rundown of the places I bought them, but to be honest, the best places that you're going to find baking.
Okay, so share screen. Yeah. So now I think the screen should be visible to you. Yeah. So what do you think about this clip? Can I get 1 or 2 insights from individuals? Anyone would like to say anything on the chat? Do we have something? What comes to your mind when you watch this video? No one? Okay. So what I'm trying to highlight over here is that on the face value, this talk seems very, very straightforward. She is actually just talking about herself, what she does, and she likes baking, how she runs her channel of YouTube and all those things. Very simple, straightforward things. However, what I'm trying to draw your attention towards is that this vlogger, as we call in many ways, actually has millions of subscribers, right? And seemingly this conversation seemed to be very ordinary to many people. However, there is a lot of traction from the world that people want to connect and hear these kinds of things, right? And this leads me to my next area of discussion, which is social media and economic boundaries, carving a new entrepreneurial landscape. So how is the entrepreneurship shifting and creating new economic boundaries? This is the theme of the conference, and this is what I'm going to share with you based on a research that we did and published it as well. Okay, so how do we define social media, basically? Social media is generally a group of internet-based applications that build on the ideological and technological foundations of Web 2.0. And it allows us to create and exchange user-generated content. What do we mean by blogs, as that is the focus of this talk? Blogs are categorized as an online information journal, displaying information in reverse chronological order, and it's a platform where the author shares their views on any individual subject. So as you saw in this video, this lady was just talking about her personal life and what she does and what she likes and what she wants to do. And that is just a very simple version of what a blog is when people start writing blogs. Many of you may already be having blogs, which you are managing. So why are we interested in blogging? When we look at blogging as a phenomena, it is still relatively new when we look at entrepreneurship as a field. There are a lot of capitalization opportunities around blogging. There's a lot of money being sort of incorporated around blogs. These are just some examples. The Daily Dish blog and the Tech Crunch are just to give you an idea that how much money is involved in just the managing and purchasing of blogs. In some cases, as you see, that it was acquired, TechCrunch was acquired by AOL for $30 million. So blogging is now becoming more and more a source of income and all over the world. Even though they start with individual self-expression, these blogs can bring in money, which is at a very large level, not only to sort of, supplement the blogger's income from salaried employment, but even sometimes people just do blogging and leave their employment. So this is where I'm trying to take you, that how important this phenomena is becoming now. Only in Sweden, as you will see, there are 35,660 fashion blogs. That is a big amount just in one country, the amount of blogs that are coming out. Okay, so how does this link to entrepreneurship research? Entrepreneurship as an activity has always been seen as an engine for economic growth. And the mainstream understanding is that entrepreneurial activity is related to high growth, technology enabled, venture capital backed businesses. Right now, there is more talk that entrepreneurship is being seen as an emancipatory activity, which gives you more freedom and empowerment, right? And this context is continuously evolving. The contemporary digital technology is creating many new ways that can make you drive towards entrepreneurship, right? It is becoming an enabler. Technology is becoming a big enabler. So what we were trying to do in this study was, we were investigating the phenomena of social media entrepreneurship. What is social media entrepreneurship, right? So it's an entrepreneurial process of opportunity identification, evaluation, and exploitation carried out by stakeholders within social media networks. And we focused our attention on lifestyle bloggers who are engaging in innovative economic activities without regarding themselves as entrepreneurs. So these lifestyle bloggers don't call themselves entrepreneurs, or they are not even starting their own companies. That is even more interesting. So we are actually now trying to address and see that what is the meaning of entrepreneurship. The whole meaning of entrepreneurship in today's times is being revisited. And that is part of our, the aim of our research, that we are trying to revisit this concept of entrepreneurship. It is moving beyond borders of just starting up a new business and sort of growing that business, right? As you will see, and as I move along this study, you will see that it's becoming very interesting now. Assessing a blog. So how do you assess a blog? How do you see that a blog is popular or not popular? The number of unique visits that happen per month and the number of friends on a blog that you have who read your blog are indicators of how good a blog is, right? So these are two ways in which you can assess a blog. Most popular or top bloggers count their friends in thousands, right? And the example that we will be showing you in this research is DPM Max. That is a virtual name given to a blogger whose activities we were actually trying to trace and understand in this case study, which I'm presenting. So the case illustration looks like this. The blogger DPM Max, who was a qualified psychiatrist, he was born and professionally active in Russia and started his blog as a purely lifestyle blogger. So he was just writing about his life in the blog. From the start in 2010, he started sharing his hobby of cooking and experience in small-scale agriculture and hunting. That were his initial writings. Yet his most popular blogs were on clinical psychology and psychiatry because these were things which were creating a lot of myths in Russia at that time. So these were becoming very popular posts which he was writing about. DPM Max tried hard to dispel them. At the same time, he strove to attract the reader's attention by sharing popular medical knowledge. Because he was a psychiatrist, he could write on the field of medical science. Slowly and slowly, his efforts started to reap fruits, and he soon became one of the top bloggers in the Russian blogosphere, ecosystem of blogs, right? So what we observe here is two things. One is broad readership and the quality of writing which he was doing. These were two important things to notice in DPM Max. What happened after this? The interesting thing was that he was offered a publication contract and was invited to endorse a wide variety of goods and services, even tourist trips abroad. So now you are seeing that when he was writing his blog, he did not know that he will be offered a publication contract, and endorsement was being offered as well, right? To endorse different books and services. And this started to lead to promotion fees and publication royalties slowly and gradually as well. So this started bringing income and money to them. After this, DPM Max published 2 popular books and 1 textbook in psychiatry. All of this was based on the material he wrote in the blog. So this was not material which he wrote separately to publish a book. This is just something which he was doing as a blog, and that attracted attention from external parties, and they approached him and they wanted to publish a book. So one of his projects after that involved offering professional consultations via Skype, online consultations, where the blog served as an advertising platform. So now, as you notice, when this story is going on, what type of different business models are coming in? There are new business models being introduced just through blogging at different stages of his life cycle. He's also seeing that there are many different ways in which he is himself contributing through consultations via Skype, through books, through endorsements. So there are multiple different ways in which it is creating income for the person. So what do we observe up till now? That DPM Max demonstrates highly enterprising behavior. He is reluctant to give up his professional identity. His professional identity is a medical doctor, as a psychiatrist, and become either a medical entrepreneur or a full-time blogger. So he is sitting somewhere in between. He is not a full-time psychiatrist, but he's not even a full-time blogger. He's somewhere in the middle right now. That's what we are observing. So how did we carry out this study, right? Methodology. In every research, as very rightly pointed out by your dean, that you have to learn the research methodology, how a research is conducted. So we conducted this research in a qualitative methodology, and we did primarily content analysis of archival data since 15 January 2010, when the blog had been launched. So this methodology, similar methodology, has already been used by other studies, but used on a different social media platform like Twitter, not on a blog. So what we did was we created categories via archives. We traced the individual posts by date. So on the blog, those of you who are familiar with blogs would know that you can trace individual postings day by day, right? And you can use the system of tags and subsections to group and analyze information through a certain theme. You can create a certain theme and then have subcategories within that, and then group all your data through the archives by date. So this is how you can organize data from blogs. This is what we also did in this study. So tags were organized as a word cloud, arranged alphabetically, and most popular tags were printed in large fonts. This is something which you will observe if you start looking at the blogs very carefully. And that is a lot of research data available for you to work with. This is to just show you which tags we used to sort of categorize the monetization activities: commercial partnership, PR, test, promotional. All these were the tags which were used to categorize the monetization. And then we traced the posts under monetization to identify business models and network stakeholders. So who are the network stakeholders who are coming at different times, and what are the different business models being employed by the blogger? Now, this is just to give you an idea that how rigorously we did the methodology to analyze the information that we wanted to analyze, right? This, as you will see on this table, on the left side, you will see the entry dates of the blogs, right? 15 January, 19 February, and then October, March. And then you are seeing what actions were taking place in all of those dates. Who were the stakeholders that were involved with the blogger? In the fourth column, you will see the blog's friends, all the readers, and what was the business model and tag which we were using from the data. That is in the fifth column that you can see. So this is a methodology just to explain you how the research was conducted in detail, just to give some idea on the details. So this carries on for till 5th of December 2016 as the last entry that we took. And from there onwards, what findings did we get from this methodology and data analysis? As seen in this table, you will see that first of all, the ability to create exciting content is very important for a blogger, right? So you need to have that ability to write things and tell the story in a very exciting manner. That is what readers will, sort of get attracted to. So this means you have to increase your number of unique visits during a certain period of time. You have to increase the number of friends. Who are friends? Friends are those bloggers who are visiting your blog. So these are bloggers visiting bloggers. Those are called friends in this terminology. So this demonstrates that you have a business potential. If you have a lot of friends and you have a lot of unique visitors coming to your blog, it is showing that your blog may have a business potential that can be capitalized. So you can co-create opportunities if you have a large number of visits going on. Then you can create a network of fellow bloggers and readers to expand your network so that there are more opportunities that can be exploited, right? You can have promoting services going on, as you see in DPM Max, that he had a book publication business model that was going on. Okay, the next thing is opportunity co-creation can also be done as an endorser. So if your content is being accepted by the audience as a blogger, you will be invited to endorse certain items like clothes can be one example. It can be another product which is being advertised by a company. They might request you to come forward and endorse their product. That is another opportunity being created between the blogger and the advertising company which is using you as an endorser, right? But all of this is happening only because of your good writing skills that you had initially. You created a context of entrepreneurship through your blog that brought in other stakeholders from the corporate world to contact you, right? So over here, what you can see is that the blogger is also using his professional qualifications and skills as a medical practitioner, as a psychiatrist. He is using that knowledge to offer Skype consultations. When you are sitting far away and you are in a lockdown and you're offering Skype consultations, for example, on any subject, this is just one example, you're actually being very proactive in identifying opportunities, right? So what happened over here was that when those Skype consultations were taking place, later on, a clinic in Moscow approached themselves to this person because they had listened to his Skype consultations and they wanted to have him on board and start doing consultations through the clinic as well. So this means it was opening up new opportunities just because this person was writing nicely and was being proactive in his professional skills, the way he was using those skills. So again, you will see that we are talking again and again about opportunity creation, which is at the heart of entrepreneurship. What is happening here is they are co-creating opportunity with other stakeholders. But one important thing you keep in mind here is that generally, whenever we talk of entrepreneur, we say that the entrepreneur has to be proactive in main entrepreneurship, right? But what we are seeing here in the blogging world, that the entrepreneur is not the one who is always identifying opportunities, right? He is sometimes co-creating opportunities which are identified by the book publisher who saw good writing in his work in the blog. The book publisher themselves approached them and said that, okay, now let's publish a book from your blog material. So in this case, the blogger was not proactive. He was more on the back seat, but he co-created an opportunity alongside someone else. So these are some of the new things which we are observing in today's world, which are not mainstream thought on entrepreneurship. How are these different processes emerging and working, right? So that is what we are trying to see. So if we try to summarize this, what we can see here is that there are three phases in which blogs are being monetized. This is what we observed in the research as a summary. So the first phase is a preparatory phase, where the blogger is demonstrating his ability through writing good content. He is creating a virtual network of friends and people who visit his blog, right? And then he is demonstrating his professional skills and knowledge by posting relevant material. So this is what we classified as a preparatory phase, which we observed. Then comes the next phase, which is monetization phase. So in the monetization phase, there is a publication of books based on the blog post, and the blogger is getting royalties on it. And the publisher is reducing their uncertainty because they already know that this blog has a lot of visits from people. So it is going to be a good investment from the publisher to join hands with the blogger, right? So the uncertainty level is reduced for the publisher. Then what is happening is we are looking at external stakeholders, that opportunities for the blogger is that he's getting access to free products and services when he's using his talents as an endorser with other stakeholders. And other stakeholders are joining hands to engage in the social media marketing, right? What is the next phase that we see? Professional services. Professional services are being offered by the blogger. Again, we are seeing opportunity for the blogger as well as for the corporate stakeholders, both in different forms. So now let's move to the discussion part. What we are observing is that the social nature of blogging is creating a need to create and sustain an extensive stakeholder network. So the stakeholders are becoming more and more important, and they are supporting the blogger's social capital. That's the first important point. The second thing is we are seeing the essential element of the firm. Companies are attracted to collaborate due to the versatile nature of a blog's content. So versatile nature means that the text is written interestingly, illustrations are very nice, and multimedia is also being used to support that. And the third thing important to remember here is that the bloggers networks includes other bloggers as well, right? Friends and unique visits, as I mentioned earlier in my talk. So the role of the blogger is becoming more and more proactive as well as reactive, right? As I mentioned, that the entrepreneur is no longer just someone who is the person who does all the proactive stuff. He is also involved in a lot of reactive ways in which the opportunity is realized, right? So what are the implications of this research? What are the future ways in which you can look at it? Number one thing to keep in mind is that we are looking at a more inclusive, network-oriented view of enterprising activities, right? We are becoming more and more network-oriented. We are creating a blended virtual and real network of friends, right? And this can be used very interactively by entrepreneurs. The second thing is bloggers, like for example, in Sweden, they are already posing themselves as institutional entrepreneurs. So when I say institutional entrepreneurs, I mean that they are able to replace fashion journalism, perhaps to a large extent in Sweden. There are many bloggers which are seen as the icons for fashion to be approached rather than fashion journalism existing in the country. But is this true for other social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and other things? Can we say the same? And does it follow the same route in other countries and in other industries? These are things we need to look at further in detail. We are also seeing that there are many different types of business models emerging in social media networks, right? This concept of social media entrepreneurship is making us think that what is a business model? What are the different types of business models and different phases of a social media entrepreneur? Another, from the methodology point of view, we are now focusing a lot that blogs are giving us a lot of free data, right? They are gold mines of data. We can use that data to go back 10 years and 15 years and 20 years to look at the life history and analyze that data to understand the concept and phenomena of entrepreneurship in detail. We don't have to go and collect data now in many ways. We can use that data which is publicly available on the blog. And it is very natural data because the blogger is not limited by biases. He or she is just writing a blog in their life, and you are using that information over a couple of years to understand different phenomena and problems. So what are the highlights of this talk? Number one, our main understanding is that entrepreneurship is a for-profit economic activity resulting in creation of high growth firms, right? But now the shift in entrepreneurship is slightly towards this new concept, which is the suggested route, right? That entrepreneurship is a very distinct method of human problem solving. It is empirically evident, as I showed you in this case study of the blogger. It is seen empirically, visibly. It is entrepreneurship is a concept which can be taught to people who want to learn it, just like a scientific method. And secondly, we see that it is applicable in practice to a variety of issues central for human development and social improvement. So this is what I would regard as some of the shifts in which entrepreneurship is moving currently. We are seeing new forms of entrepreneurship coming, and social media entrepreneurship is a very interesting phenomena which where a lot of research needs to be done and explored. So what we are seeing here is that entrepreneurship is a general problem-solving method. It is opportunity-driven, innovative, proactive, and embraces uncertainty, right? And so it is not something that people have to worry and say that I have a gene of becoming entrepreneur or not. It is something which is very generally as a tool which can be taught to people as a mechanism to solve different problems in the world, right? That is entrepreneurship. That is the understanding of entrepreneurship. And we are trying to revisit this understanding based on our knowledge up till now from the past and what we have seen looking at these different new ways of making money as we see in the case of the blogger, that there are new ways in which entrepreneurship is being observed now. So this is, if those of you who are interested to read this research in more detail, you are most welcome to follow this. I have put in a snapshot of this paper, which is published in Journal of Business Venturing Insights. And this is my colleague with whom I collaborated to work on this research. And we are still working on similar problems within this area of social media entrepreneurship as we speak on some projects. So what does that mean? Is any one of you the next social media entrepreneur? Are you excited to get into this field? Is it a form of involuntary entrepreneurship? Or we are talking of enterprising individuals? This is the food for thought that I want to leave you with, that think about it. As you see this case illustration, do you think that this is an entrepreneurship that just happens involuntarily? Like people just do it for the sake of doing it. They don't even realize that they're becoming entrepreneurial. Or there are enterprising individuals hidden amongst us in our personalities that manifest through social media, right? So these are questions that need further exploration and further research that I'm happy to see that many people would like to join this group and sort of support us in trying to find answers around these questions. With that, I would like to come to the end of this talk, and I would like to offer my support to the Department of Entrepreneurship, the faculty, colleagues, and all the young researchers who are embarking on this journey today and in the future, that I'm open to discussing any interesting research collaborations that we can think of and working together, and even meet in person when things permit and travel becomes safer, you know, and we can move around as freely as we used to be. It would be really nice. So those of you who would like to connect with me, you can do so via LinkedIn, and you can search me through this name completely. And I'll be happy to join all of you. And I'm really looking forward to listening to some very nice presentations later in the day today. With that, I think I will call it a day. And if I'm not sure how we are doing on the time, if we have a few minutes, I'm also open to any questions if anyone would like to have any questions.
Thank you very much for those inspiration for research and your valuable insights. With this, we thank you very much for joining with us today to the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021. We look forward to have you for the research presentations. Thank you very much once again. We're now officially launching the proceedings book of the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021. And you can now receive the proceedings book through the Zoom chat, and also the PDF document, and download the document through the link provided in the chat option. And you can also scan the QR code on screen and receive the proceeding books through that. With that launching of the proceedings book, we have reached the end of the inauguration ceremony of the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021. And I would like to cordially invite Mrs. Pubudini Liyanage to deliver the word of thanks.
Thank you very much, Nabini. Good morning to all of you, distinguished guests, research paper presenters, participants, the organizing committee members, and dear students. As we approach the closure of today's event, on behalf of the Department of Entrepreneurship, let me take this opportunity to be grateful to each and every person who has helped us in making this event a reality. Without the collective and hard efforts of many parties, to unveil events of this nature is impossible. Hence, it is with much pleasure and pride that I officially commend the efforts made and support rendered by many parties involved in the event of organizing the first International Research Symposium, IRSE 2021, the fourth Research Symposium of the Department of Entrepreneurship of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce at University of Sri Jayewardenepura. First and foremost, I wish to pay our sincere gratitude to the keynote speaker of the day, Dr. Mohammed S. Khan, Senior Lecturer, Associate Professor in Strategic Innovation and Entrepreneurship from Victoria University of Wellington. Dear sir, it is an honor to have you as our keynote speaker, who indeed added many insights to our beloved researchers of the department as well as the faculty. Subsequently, let us not forget our pillars of strength of all events of Department of Entrepreneurship. The Senior Professor Sudanta Liyanage, the Vice Chancellor of University of Sri Jayewardenepura, and the Dean of the Faculty, Professor P.D. Nimal, for the support rendered towards the successfulness of this event. Next, on behalf of the Department of Entrepreneurship, let me take this opportunity to thank and appreciate the inspiration and encouragement provided by all means by the Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, who is the current chairman of the University of Grants Commission. As the former Vice Chancellor of the University, he has been the initiator in this present research culture of the university, which led up to open up new avenues for the young researchers, both in the staff as well as the student population of the university. Moreover, we meet this event to call out a special thank you for Dr. U. Anurakumara, former Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, who was the initiator of the departmental research sessions, and thus we are much grateful to you, sir, for introducing such valuable concepts to the Faculty of Management Studies. Next, let me thank the panel of reviewers and session chairs, Associate Professor M. Saud Khan, Senior Professor HHDNP O. Patel, Professor N. Abesekara, Professor D. Nishanta, Professor PGSA Jayaratna, Professor PMB Jayatilaka, Professor D. Gahabatura, Professor HSC Pereira, Dr. M.D. Pushpakumari, Dr. K.P.L. Chandralal, Dr. K.A. Shashika Paryaperuma, Dr. M.G. Geeta Tarangani, Dr. D.R.J. Sirivardhana, Dr. J.W.B. Chaminda, Dr. A.D. Dharmavansa, Dr. C.N. Vikramasinghe, Dr. E.A.C.P. Karunaratna, Dr. A. Pushpanathan, Dr. R.N. Veerasinghe, Dr. K.M.B. Sachitra, Dr. H.K.G.S. Ranasinghe, Ms. B.G. Dharmaratna, for their incredible contribution and expertise in intervention made to publish quality research works. Thank you very much, dear sirs and madams, for being with us throughout the process and bearing it with us ever since. Members of the editorial board and the advisory board had done a tremendous job in releasing the symposium proceedings. I would like to make this an opportunity to praise and thank for the painstaking work of the editorial board of the proceeding book of International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship, IRSE 2021. Without the generous contribution of the AHEAD project, projects as of this nature would be highly vulnerable. Thus, I, on behalf of the department, is much thankful to Professor Samanyapa, who is the head of the AHEAD project of University of Sri Jayewardenepura, for the generous contribution in financial terms, which enormously helped us to make this event a success. Further, a note of thanks is sent to Mr. Chintaka, who is the coordinator from AHEAD side of all such events at FMSC. The core of the conference was the research presentations, which were selected through a thorough review process. Thus, I would like to congratulate all the paper presenters for their success in publishing their quality research work done in the year 2020 and 21. Moreover, let me thank on behalf of the organizing committee for your interest shown in publishing with the Department of Entrepreneurship. The department and its functioning are highly reinforced by the founding members of it. The support and guidance given by all our founding members, inclusive of our beloved sir, head of the department, Dr. Jayewardenepura sir, at each and every point of ambiguity helped us to succeed this event by providing valuable insights. Hence, let me take this moment to thank all the founding members for their untiring support, which has always been the guiding light for all of us. Special thanks is also owed to Dr. Ukmal Veerasinghe for being side by side with us, the organizing committee, at every point of organizing this event. Thank you very much, dear sir, for all your kind advices and guidance provided at all times. Further, as the organizing committee, we would like to humbly thank our dearest madam, Ms. Yeshika Somaratna, Senior Lecturer of the Department of Entrepreneurship, who helped us in finding an academically renowned keynote speaker. Thank you very much, dear madam, for all your support and encouragement. At the same time, I wish to extend my sincere appreciation towards the panel of lecturers of the department, with special mentioning on Dr. Shriyani Ranasinghe and Ms. Bimali Ranasinghe for all the support and guidance provided to the organizing team to make this event a success. For all the participants who are virtually present today, sparing your valuable time to be with us to make a rich audience are highly appreciated. Thank you very much for virtually attending the conference. Last, but definitely not the least, the most importantly, the efforts, the sweats and tears, and the sleepless nights of the organizing committee, including Ms. Chatini Hansima, Ms. Naduni Gunawardana, and Mr. Danuku Pereira, should be applauded for. Thank you all for all the efforts made from day one to all the trial sessions in the virtual context, and without your support and commitment, this event could not have been a reality. Further, a special mentioning is for the support rendered by the academic support staff, Ms. Mithila Praharshani, Mr. Heshan Pradeep, Ms. Rashini Bopitiya of the Department of Entrepreneurship, and Ms. Roshini and Ms. Dilini, the Senior Assistant Registrars of the Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce, and all the administrative and non-academic staff members of the faculty and the Vice Chancellor Office. Thank you very much. You made this event organizing a success. For all the other parties whom I have missed mentioning, while apologizing, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation. Thank you very much. Hope you will have a fruitful morning at the research presentation and the poster presentation sessions of the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship, IRSE 2021. Have a pleasant day. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Remarking the end of this session with that thought, I thank you all for joining with us for the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021. And I request all participants to join their respective tracks for the research presentations and poster presentations. Thank you very much and have a pleasant day. And please rise for the National Anthem of Sri Lanka to conclude the inauguration of the International Research Symposium on Entrepreneurship 2021.
Sri Lanka Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Sri Dharini, Surani Ati Sobhamana Lanka, Ranya Ganaya Mekamal Walatulu Iri Jaya Bhumiya Ranya, Apa Hatta Sapa Siri Seta Sadhana, Jivana Ye Mata, Pili Kandu Mena Apa Bhakti Puja, Namo Namo Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Obame Apa Vidya, Obamaya Apa Satya, Obame Apa Shanti, Apa Hada Tula Bhakti, Oba Apa Aloke, Apa Ge Anuprane, Oba Apa Jivanane, Apa Muktiya Obame, Nava Jivana Dimini, Nikina Apa Kubudu Karan Mata, Jnana Pida Vada Vandina Ragila Yanu Mena Jaya Bhumikara, Ekmavaka Kedaru Kala Vedina, Yamu Yamu Vinopama, Prema Vada Samaveta Durara, Namo Namo Mata, Apa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata.
The poster presenters and the research article presenters, please join your respective track to present your article or presentation. Thank you and have a pleasant day.